consequences is that even before the year begins, we find ourselves with situations where we cannot actually do work. I'm not sure I want to leave it at that.
An opening statement by saying that if you look at the projects that we are implementing, the delay was caused by the delay in getting our budget approved.
Thank you, Chair. So under the East African Skills Transformation and Regional Integration, this is a budget achievement institution. Just confirm
that what you're doing is within the purview.
Honorable members, we are having a problem with what we call transformer vandalism. And now it has gotten to a point where we are losing about 3, 4, 5 transformers every day. And when you look cumulatively in a week, we are losing about 10, 20 transformers in a week, countrywide. Transformer vandalism is mainly driven by copper. Actually, most of the vandals, what they just do is, in fact, like recently in Odaya and another one in Teragua, what they did, they came with power source. They have become very blatant. They don't have time to climb the poles. So they come with the power source, cut the 2 poles, of course the line will drop, and they have the free time getting the entire transformer and packing it in the vehicles. Members, we need your intervention to the security committee because it's an issue that is really affecting the O&M maintenance operations of Kenya Power. And also, when there is an outage in a region, for example, that transformer serves a food factory, it serves an entire area school. If you look at the economic impact of that vandalism, it is really a lot. And so therefore I'm calling upon members, it is something that now needs to be raised, even the floor of the House, such that the cartels that are running around the copper, rewinding and what have you, realize that this is not going to be business as usual. Currently, because of the low hydrology, and I want to confirm that even with the rains that have rained in the last couple of weeks, Masinga Dam has only risen by 2 meters. So we need much more rains to ensure that what we have here as 839 megawatts of hydropower is available. Because currently, as it is now, we don't have that 839. Most of the time, and honorable members who you are with in Dandora a few weeks ago in the National Control Center, you saw it for yourself that the maximum we are pushing is about 560 megawatts, and that is during peaking. So we are left with nothing else other than to run the thermals, because for a reason or the other, during the rainy season, then we have also low solar output and low wind output. And so therefore, when we have now peak demand, we have no choice other than to run the thermals. And that's the conversation Kenyans need to, and this committee needs to get out there, and Kenyans to realize that the cost of power is mainly driven by our generation and also affected by our transmission constraints. Honorable members, in terms of transmission lines, we have done well as a country in the last couple of years. You see that we had about 1,248 kilometers of 220 kV lines, and now we have 2,116. 2013 we didn't have a single kilometer of 400 kV line. Today we have 2,116. In 2013 we didn't have a single kilometer of HVDC. Today we have 1,224 kilometers of HVDC, a line that can carry up to 2,000 megawatts from Ethiopia.
So meters have been a challenge, and I think mainly because of the court cases that we have had. But going forward, what we have put in place, we are getting on top of the 95,000 that we got and we have tested and we have dispatched to the regions today. We are expecting an additional 120. And the ones we are procuring now, which will cover end of June and the next financial year are 600,000, the ones we put on tender. And for the next financial year, immediately we jump into the next financial year, we expect to buy a similar number because meters are our cash registers, and for KPLC not to have meters is like we are not in business. The truth of the matter is, KPLC financials have been very bad. Our negative working capital has been around 8 billion. But for the last 4 years, we have been reducing that negative working capital up to where we are today. By the end of June 2022, our negative working capital had gone down to 55 billion. Now, why is this amount like the way it is today? One, some of our loans are in dollar form. And what happens is that, or in foreign currency, what happens is that when the shilling depreciates, the difference, because our books are kept in Kenya shillings, the amounts keep on going up. Like like last month, when Central Bank announced the new dollar exchange value at 133 from where we were before, which was about 125, and our expenses went up by 6 billion, just like that, without doing anything. So the foreign currency is also a challenge.
Now the projects that has been commissioned, Chair, there are commissioning reports that can be produced to that effect. No contractor will be paid before that exercise, and upon payment, there has to be that commissioning report before the certificates to pay this particular contractor. I think the only challenge, and I think this Kenya Power has really talked about a number of times, is when now we do commission the project, and then customers are not able to get the service because of the metering. Because again, the customers cannot start getting the power before metering. And actually what we used to do then, before, we would actually do the project, commission it, and then even do the drop wire all the way to the metering box. But I think because of the problem of stealing of power, what is happening now is you'd find maybe the cable is done, but it's not connected to the line. The thing that really we need to look at and address is the issue of metering, because every time I'm sending the request on meters to Engineer Muri, and I think the last one I gave him was of 100,000 customers. And by the end of June, I'm likely to send him another 100,000. So by June, most likely, Derek will be requesting like 200,000 meters to be done to customers, Chair.